Okay, so tell us, who are you, what do you do, and how old are you?
My name is Mimi Anderson. I'm an ultra runner and I live in Kent and I'm 53 years old.
And what exactly is an ultra runner?
An ultra runner is somebody who runs over the distance of the marathon. So the marathon distance is 26.2 miles. So I tend to run anything over that distance, but specialise in 100 miles plus.
What's the last run you've done, most recent?
The most recent one I did was double Spartathlon. So the Spartathlon is the most iconic race in the ultra running world, and it's held in Greece. It's 153 miles non-stop. So it starts in Athens and goes all the way to Sparta. And when you get to about 100 miles, you've got a little mountain that you have to sort of go up and over. And my plan for this was to run it. You have to do it in under 36 hours, and there are, I think, 75 checkpoints, all of which have their own cut-off. So you're chasing the clock the whole time. So my plan was to get to Sparta, have a bit of a rest, and then try and be the first female to run all the way back to Athens again, which I actually did manage. I tried it in 2013. And got to 6 kilometres before Sparta, and my body just wasn't playing games. It was just not in a good way, and so I had to sort of abort my ambitions of running back, but was determined to go back again in 2015. So this year it was fantastic. I actually managed it, and I ran into Athens. So yeah, really good.
I think that you've had quite a lot of achievements that no one's ever done before, like the John O'Groats to Land's End.
Yes, I hold the female world record for John O'Groats to Land's End, which I set in 2008. And again, somebody sent me an email and said, Mimi, I think you should go for this world record. Well, I'd never heard of Le Jog, which stands for Land's End to John O'Groats, or Joggle, which is John O'Groats to Land's End. I had to Google them. So, and I just thought 840 miles, it's a long way, but I knew that I had to give it a go, because, if you don't try something, you're never going to find out whether you can actually do it. So yeah, I did it in just over 12 days. And I've held the record since, so
wow,
really pleased, yeah.
What's your best achievement? What's the thing you're most proud of?
I don't know what I'm most proud of, actually. I'm sort of quite proud of everything that I do. I don't know. I did a race in the Arctic in 2007, and I'd never raced in the cold before. I'm much more a sort of a hot person. I do like the heat. And this was my first venture into the cold, and I didn't tell my husband that I'd entered, and I didn't know how I was going to fund it, had no idea, but I just signed on the dotted line and I entered. And I think for me that was a huge achievement, because, I'd no experience of running at that stage, that distance. It was 352 miles non-stop. You had to pull your own sledge, and you had to manage everything yourself. I mean, yes, there were checkpoints, but they were anything from 23 miles all the way to sort of 70 miles. And so my plan was to go from checkpoint to checkpoint. So I worked out, how long I was going to spend at each checkpoint of eating and then sleeping. Because when it's minus 40, it's quite easy actually to get to a checkpoint and think, I'm just going to stay inside just a little bit longer. But my aim of the race was actually to win it. And my husband, Tim, turned around and said, well, how are you going to win it, Mimi? You've never done cold before, and you don't know who the other competitors are, which was all true. But I just think you've got to have a goal, you've got to have an aim, and I actually did win it, and I still hold the course record for that particular race. So far the men haven't managed to beat me, so I'm quite pleased with that. So yeah, I was quite proud of that one, actually.